Hey, winners. It's been a long time since we've had a chance to talk to you. Just in case you forgot, what we're all about at Christ Place. We're all about discipling one another to reach and raise the next generation to live out God's truth. Hey, we have a lot of exciting things we want to just kind of communicate to you. So, Andrew, tell us, where have we been this year? What's happened at Christ Place?
Yeah, so, here we are. We're 6 months into this year. And we just took a moment this morning and we just reflected on what God has done this year alone. And it's amazing.
mind-blowing.
You see all of this behind us. This is only a fraction of what God has done in the lives of our people just within our church. And we wanted to just kind of highlight a few of these to you because one of the things we need you to do this week and in the weeks to come is to remind your people that God is moving at Christ Place, and you are in a unique opportunity where you're a part of it. And not only are you a part of it, but a lot of you're serving in it, you're the cause of it, you're kind of the catalyst that keeps this thing moving, and God is just using that in such a big way, and it's because of your faith and because of what you've been doing. So let's highlight a few things that we've seen. We've had 156 baptisms only from January to June 5th, which is today. 150.
Which I think is more than all of our calendar year last year, and we're only halfway through the year.
We're only halfway through. That is amazing. That's huge. We want to highlight what God did at camp this past week. So we had 30 camp baptisms. That's only middle and high school students. We had over 37 decisions for salvation, for calls to ministry, $25,000 in camp scholarships given to where no child had to be turned away and say, no, I'm sorry, we don't have a spot for you.
That's the most we've ever had
in camp because of your generosity. We had over 350 students, which is more than we've ever taken, and over 130 volunteers, just to name those few things. Rick, what else do we have on here?
Well, the heart and soul of our church is this growing groups. And so we've been able to start 5 new groups this year. We started off-campus groups, and we're just seeing God move in these off-campus groups, and we have a lot of plans to start more off-campus groups. We have intentionally focused on My Five. This is something that to me has just motivated me, is that I've seen you as a church, you as leaders, get so engaged in this My Five that you've been praying for 5 specific people. I've heard of a number of people that have come to Christ specifically because of this My Five emphasis.
Yeah.
I know we're going to see a baptism pretty soon. Pastor Ben Garrison got to lead one of his 5 to Christ just a couple weeks ago. Maybe you'll hear more about that soon. But I love the My Five emphasis. This is something that for myself and Andrew is just so exciting and huge. Is we have had the highest average in groups attendance this spring than we've ever had as a church by far. Somewhere between 21 and 2,200 people every week meeting in groups this spring. So that is off the chain exciting. Tell us about some more of this stuff.
All right, so just to highlight a few things that God did at Easter, we had 3 services at Easter. We had a 1 o'clock service, which we have never done in the past, and it was a great service. We had over 6,000 people across all 3 of those services on Easter, already pre-registered for VBS, which is more than we've had previously pre-registered before. We have over 600 kindergarten through 5th grade, 600.
Wow.
Over 300 volunteers already volunteering, saying that they're going to take a week off just to serve in VBS. Not to mention, we've had Make a Difference weekends. We've had over $60,000 given to Make a Difference weekends, from personal gifts to scholarships to sponsorships.
Yeah, and that's on top of the tithes you're already giving, which is so exciting.
Yep. We've fed 5,000 people back in March. And we did our first ever 5K and gave $10,000 to prevent domestic violence right here in Hall County in our community. Already this year alone, we've had over 396 people come through your place, and almost 80% of them have joined the church. These are people that knew nothing about us. They have never been here before. Maybe they've been coming for a little while, and they came through your place, and then they joined Christ Place. We've had over 500 people come through the connection room, and so many of those have been salvations and just people needing to hear the gospel in such a clear way.
Yeah, almost all those people that go through your place make their first stop at the connection room.
Yeah.
So what I'm telling you every week as I close the service, make sure you get new people to the connection room, because that is their point of contact where really they get the ball rolling on kind of what God's doing in their life. So God is at work in a way that I've never seen before at this church at Christ Place. And the first 6 months of this year have just been a God thing. We've just been blown away by what God is doing. And it's because of the Lord, and it's because of you, because of your obedience to the Lord and your willingness to serve and to do new things and to take chances. And Andrew and I were just reflecting today about how so many churches are closing their doors and so many churches are in decline. And what a joy and a blessing it is to be part of a church where God's doing more than we've ever seen. Like, it's just God-sized stuff. So moving forward this summer, we want to just give you a quick word of encouragement. You know, for the next 2 months, it's the summer months. It's the time you get to spend time with people in your class outside of class. It's the time that many of your people are going to be going on vacation and refreshing themselves and trying to get that time with their family. We want to encourage that. Encourage them to stay plugged in with the church online when they're gone on vacation. But here's a few things just to remember. What do we need from you? Well, we just need for you to continue to do the basics. Yeah. I remember when I was in high school at football, our coach would always say, boys, it's all about blocking and tackling. He'd say it all the time, boys, it's all about blocking and tackling. And what he was saying was, if we can get the basics right, then we can win. And the thing about Bible fellowship, the thing about groups ministry, the thing about growing in groups, if we continue to get the basics right, discipleship happens. Yeah. And we continue to see results because we're doing the right things. This is what Jesus did. He just did the same things over and over. He would teach the people. He would show the people. He would send them out. He would teach the people. He would show the people. He would send them out. They would talk about it. So what do we want you to do? Well, we want you to do the basic things of Bible fellowship. One, we want you to teach for application. We want you to get into the Word of God, whether it be through sermon-based small groups or whatever curriculum you're teaching, and get that Word into the people. Let them have a chance to respond to that, ask great questions that get the Word into people's everyday life. Two, we have got to focus on the joy of authentic community. So you've got to build those relationships in your group every week that go beyond Sunday into every day. And so that takes work. So that takes calls, that takes emails, that takes face-to-face time, that takes out-of-class time. And so it's work of relationships and knowing there's that deep bond there. Tell them about a couple other things, that just the basics of a group. What is a
basics?
Group?
So we want you to continue to pray for your people. Are you taking time with the Lord every day to call your people out and their needs specifically every single day and just naming them to the Lord? Because God's going to use that and He's going to fulfill those prayers. He's going to do that. So what else is in
another thing? Just real simple thing is, and this is but groups meet weekly. Yeah. They meet weekly, and so something we're noticing more and more is that people less and less attend on a regular basis. So our regular attenders might come once or twice a month. The more you can get them consistent in weekly attendance, the more they're going to grow spiritually, because it's life on life that creates spiritual growth. It's that accountability, it's that encouragement, and when people don't come on a regular basis, we find that they're just not going to grow as quickly in the Lord. So really encouraging that weekly meeting together. And then, another thing we say that's really, really simple is you just being an accountable leader. You being a leader that is accountable to God's church, to myself, and to Andrew, that we can help you have that conversation, that we can help you in any way we can, help you grow. And also just the way that we are all on the same page as a church going forward. Yeah. So those are just a few things, just those simple things: praying for your class, making time for community, teaching for application, meeting weekly, and then being an accountable leader. And I think the last thing that you just really is going to help your class grow, the basics, is encouraging them to serve, finding their place in service, staying focused on the My Five and the evangelism portion of your class. But just those real simple things. If you do those things consistently, your class is going to grow spiritually. It's most likely going to grow numerically. You're going to find those new leaders so you can start new groups. And God is going to continue to do more of this kind of stuff in the second half of 2019.
Yeah, so we shared with you what God has done for the first 6 months. The question is, what is God going to do in the last 6 months of this year? And I think that's going to be bigger.
I think it can be even.
It's going to be more than this. So we're excited to see it. Thank you for what you do. Thank you for serving. Thank you for watching this long. And we'll see you this week.